What up, XO gang? I am back with a new video. If you are new here, hi, I'm Shabria. Welcome to my channel. Yeah, I don't know how many times I had to film this video. I kept on getting interrupted, and the lighting is not my friend right now. So, so I was trying to make it trying to get rid of the glare, and no, the glare stays. This is I think this should be this is a beautiful filter. But anyways, hi, how you doing? I'm Shabria. Welcome to my channel if you're new here. Hope you stick around by subscribing to my channel. It is free. Subscribing and hit that bell notification. You don't have to pay nothing. It just gives subscribing. You're gonna subscribe to my channel because you love my content or you want to see more of my content. And hit that bell notification means that you won't be notified when I upload a new video. So you'll be the first one to watch, comment, and liking. And if you are my day one XO gang, thank you for being patient. Thank you for all your support. I do appreciate it. I'm doing a lot with my hands. I gotta do something with my hands. So the title of this video is my learning disability story. I have dyscalculia and auditory processing disorder. I believe that I mentioned in a video that I want to talk about my learning disability, and I'm just not getting around to it. So before that, I used to talk about my learning disability on my blog and on my Instagram. All my social media platforms will be listed in the description box below in case you want to know more. I will be doing more videos about my learning disability in the future, and also making a playlist. So yeah, I shoulda, coulda, woulda written this down, but I want to do the top of my head. So if I'm scatterbrained, I'm just trying to remember everything. So yeah, okay. Dyscalculia and auditory processing disorder. Both of them are mild cases for me. Mild means I struggle, but it's not. It's overwhelming, and I struggle, but I overcome it. So I mean, it's not as bad. I don't know what mild means. They just told me that you have a mild case of dyscalculia and auditory processing disorder. So I'm just repeating it. So I don't know what that means. So I was diagnosed when I was in kindergarten of 97, 98. Both my parents and my teacher was like, Shabria, there's something different about Shabria academically. And my parents oh, I agree, because at home she doesn't listen. She doesn't do my parent, I just remember going to doctor's offices, getting tested, and they would come back oh, she's fine, you know. So when I was in school, I got tested for learning disabilities, and it came back that I have a mild case of dyscalculia and auditory processing disorder. My parents told me that they weren't in denial, but they accepted it, but they wanted to make sure that if I wasn't misdiagnosed, because that does happen. So they were oh, let's test her again next year. Kindergarten teacher was okay, but until then she has a learning disability. So yeah, I have a learning disability. So first grade, got tested again. Come back, I have a learning disability. And due to my auditory processing disorder, I have speech impediment. So when you have auditory processing disorder, you pronounce things wrong because your brain is oh, it's pronounced like this, or you're hearing this, but it's not really that. So I've been mispronouncing words for I don't know how long. So I still do, but I'm love me or hate me, I don't care. If you love it, if you like it, I love it, So don't love me or hate me, whatever. So kindergarten through 5th, I had a hard time comprehending what was going on with me. I didn't understand. I think I was in the 4th grade when they told me that, Shabria, you have a learning did you know you have a learning disability? It wasn't at school, it was my parents. My parents, I told them what was going on, and they were oh, well, I didn't know if you have a learning disability. You have dyscalculia and auditory processing disorder. So that's the reason why that you have multiple classes. Like, you have to go to speech class one day, and then the next for a few hours, and then the next day you have to go to this class, and you're in that class for a few hours. So now you understood why. And I was like, oh, okay. And then I never talked about it again when I was a kid. When I got to high school and as a young adult, I started asking more questions. And my parents just answered the best way how they can. so when I got to 6th grade, I had IEP case manager was like, okay, like, give me up to speed. Like, you have a learning disability, you have dyscalculia and auditory processing disorder, and both of them are mild cases, but I'm going to help you improve and not being labeled as a student with a learning disability. You are a student with a learning disability, but you are more than that. So for my IEP case manager, she was amazing. She helped me navigate, like, you know, she just helped me navigate better and being less overwhelmed and making math less challenging for me. I'm not sure if I was in 6th or 7th grade when I learned to be a visual learner. And I told her, I'm like, look what I can do. And I learned, like, and I did this. And she was like, how did you do that? And I was like, oh, I did it myself. And she was like, are you a visual learner? I was like, what is that? Like, you learn by watching somebody and you do it yourself. And I was like, I guess I am. She's like, don't let them know that. And I was like, why? Like, because... And I was like, why? I'm like, at least I learned it. I'm like, yeah, at least you learned it. But they want you to learn it their way. I was like, but their way was hard for me to learn. I'm like, yeah, but just fake it. Like, when I told her, when she figured that out, she was like, don't tell nobody. So it was like our little secret. And then when I got to high school, like, girl, you're a visual learner. So in math classes, I was a visual learner more than in my other classes. So English, I passed that with flying colors because I love reading, I love writing. I love, like, when it comes to writing, they let me write topics that I'm not interested in, but I write anyways. Books, they tell me to read this book and I have zero interest in, but I read it anyways. Like, yeah, okay, this book, I don't want to read it, but I'll read it. Oh, write about this topic, I'm not interested in this, I can't relate, but okay. So that's when my parents, and I'm all over, sorry, that's when my parents were like, Shabria's not interested in this and that, but she'll do it. That was teenage Shabria. Adult Shabria, I am not, my parents know, like, I accepted a lot of things about my learning disability. Like, I'm not academically driven, but I'll learn, okay? I'll learn, but I'll learn on me. Like, me. So, yeah. Dyscalculia, I will learn in my way. I'll do this, like, everything was my way. And if you have a problem with that, that's on you, okay? That's on you, only on you, because it's not affecting me. Because this is me that I'm worried about. So, high school Shabria, 9th through 12, I, passed each grade, not with flying colors, but, like, I passed my classes flying colors. Some were math classes. I did graduate with my class of 2010. So once I graduated, I wasn't interested in going to college because looking at their curriculum of the classes I wanted to take, they were like adding unnecessary classes. Like, I'm not taking that. I don't want to take that. Why am I taking that? I already did 4 years of that. Why am I doing another 4 years or another 2 years? Like, no, I'm not doing it. So I just learned at home. I take online classes or online courses. Yeah. I'm all like, I should have wrote this down, but no. See, that's my fault. Maybe next video I will like remember to write things down so it'll be easy, so I won't be scatterbrained and whatever. Both of my parents, like my parents, mostly my mother, like, Bria, you're not going to college. Like, I thought she was being mean. She's like, Bria, you're not going to college. I'm not paying for your classes. And I thought, you know, she was being mean. She was being like that mom. She's like, no, the reason why I'm not going to put you in college, why your father and I are not going to put you in college, is because I know you're not academically driven. You get overwhelmed. When you get overwhelmed with your academics, you just want to give up. I have those days that I just like, forget it, I don't want to do this anymore. Middle school and high school, that has happened, but I pulled through. College is a whole different ball game. I know it's a different ball game. It's not like high school. I know that. So when my mom and my dad was dropping facts about me, I was like, they're right, but I'm not going to tell them that they're right. It is true, I'm not academically driven. If I didn't have a learning disability, I still wouldn't be academically driven. I learn in my own pace. I learn things differently from others, and I accepted that. But I do have a learning disability, and I am not academically driven. I'm not. I had to say I'm not, because because I mentioned that I want to go to college, I want to do this, I want to do that, but in reality, can I do it? Like, can I do it? Yes, I can. But I was like, I can do it. And then I'm like, I can't do it. So my parents are like, that's why we're not going to pay 20, 25 grand, almost 30 grand for you for tuition. Just take these classes online that are free, or less than that. Like, I take courses on Udemy, Skillshare, Allison, Khan Academy. I'll list them in the description box below. They're like they're 100%. Some are free, some are not. But I will leave the websites down below for you guys, for you or for your kids or whatever. But I learned online, and I accepted. Like, the key word about this is accepting. I accepted a lot of things about me, and my parents accepted that as well. And it is what it is, you know. But when I graduated from high school, I didn't know that there were resources for me, because once you graduate from high school, everything that you learned had all those resources and tools you had in high school for high school students. They don't give it to you as an adult. So the resources and tools as an adult, you have to pay extra for. And I'm like, huh? Because I don't know how the school district is in your state or country, but in the state of Nevada, they say that they care about adults with learning disabilities, but words, they're just words. I don't see any actions at all. I'm 28, about to be 29 this year. I had to start over. Not just me, but my mom and dad as well. But it's mostly me. So I had to start all over, finding resources and tools for adults with learning disabilities. I had to, if I had to go, like, you know, as an adult, I had to take more testing just to prove to the state that I'm incompetent. I'm not incompetent, but I have poor comprehension skills. I have to prove to the state that I have a learning disability. That costs extra dollars. Like, I don't know, like 15 grand, 13 grand, probably like that. I just know it's thousands of dollars that my mom and dad don't have. So that's it. Nothing, like, if they told me that there was an age limit or there was a affordable alternative for it, we wouldn't have to pay so much. But like I said, Nevada is different from other states, and US, like different states in the US caters to kids and adults with learning disabilities are different from others. I wish that everybody had the same opportunities. I don't know how it is in your country. If you live in, I don't know, if you live in Canada, the UK, Australia, Norway, I don't know. But I just know that here in Nevada, adults with learning disabilities, you had to pay extra that my parents don't have. So yeah, like I said, I had to start over. And I'm probably gonna get this in the comments too, me talking about my dyscalculia, my auditory processing disorder, my learning disabilities. I would like to say, when somebody say that I have a learning disability, please don't say you don't look like you have a learning disability, because it's just like, it's not offensive to all, but it's kind of annoying, because to us it's like, what does that mean? Because I feel like, and as an adult now, when I hear people who say that, it's like, okay, they think that learning disability means Down syndrome. No, Down syndrome is Down syndrome. If I say I have dyscalculia and auditory processing disorder, that's a form, it's like a different form of, it's like the same form as learning disability. That's it. So yeah, if this is offensive, this word is really offensive to me, so I apologize. I am not retarded. I'm not a retard, because there are people that don't have a learning disability that do or say retarded stuff, and it's like, I'm not. And to anybody who's watching this who have a learning disability, you are not those things. You are smart. And I'm saying this, okay? You're smart. You're going to approve your education. They don't know what you go through academically, and it's none of their business. If you're struggling with math or English, reading, whatever, you're going to overcome that, and it's going to be challenging, but also remember that only you can make it better. I made it better with my dyscalculia. Even though that I don't struggle with dyscalculia as I used to at height in school, doesn't mean I'm going to get a job as a cashier, because I have no business counting money. Like, I count money differently from other people, and I don't need other people telling me, like, that's not how you do that. That's not, like, then why did you put me as a cashier? I told you on my resume that I have dyscalculia, so why did you put me on the register? You know? So I have zero business being on the register. I have zero business being the bank teller. I have zero business of being around money. I love money. I love counting cash, but loose change, nah. I mean, I have this is, like I said, this is an introduction. Just telling you guys my story, my experience. I am going to make a series and a playlist for this. I'm like looking at the time, and I'm 18 minutes. So yeah, this is all I gotta say about my learning disability, my story. I'm sorry this is all jumbled, because it's jumbled and scatterbrained. I apologize. Shoulda, coulda, would've written it down, but I didn't, because I thought I could handle it. Clearly I can't, but I guess I have to write my things down. So thank you so much for watching this video. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below. I will, and if you have any like video suggestions for like next videos, please leave them down in the comments below as well. And thank you so much for watching. And yeah. Bye.